Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about Feverfew. This one is pretty well known for people for migraines and tension headaches. That's, I guess, the most popular reason this is used. A lot of times, if you suffer from those chronically, you can take Feverfew as a preventive a little bit every day. If you're going to do it as a preventive, my recommendations, you can do it however you want, or what works for you is to do it as a little steep tea or a tincture. These come in different forms. You can buy or do yourself, dried, in the bulk. And the leaves and the little flower tops are what are used medicinally. You can buy, capsules, or you can make them on your own, but it's powdered. They're dried and made into a powder form. You can get capsules. Like I said, you can do essential oils, tinctures, however you can make your own. You can buy tinctures, however you want to do it. So this, it is an anti-inflammatory, and it does, keep our smooth muscles from contracting, which is what causes some of those aches and pains, tension headaches, migraines type things. It also is used, you can do like the steeped tea, with the dried or fresh. You can use it for colds and flus and fevers that will come with that, and the body aches that will come with that. Works well for that. It does help with menstrual cramps. This one has warnings. Please read my description and listen to the end for those. I've got to give some of those. Asthma, toothaches, if you have, and that's because of the smooth muscle, the anti-inflammatory that helps with that. Toothaches, gum problems, stuff like that. So with the toothache and gum thing, I would do steep like a tea and let it cool, and do like a mouth, like a swoosh or wash or something with that. The leaves they're edible. They are edible. They're not going to hurt you to eat them, of course, unless you're allergic or something. But they are extremely bitter. I don't recommend it. It's not going to hurt you. Some people will chew on a couple of the leaves. The thing is with that, I personally do not do that because it can, and it does for me. I've done it one time and that was enough. It can cause like sores in your mouth just because it's strong and the bitterness to it. If you're sensitive, like your gum or soft tissue in your mouth, it can cause kind of that raw, feeling or whatever. So keep that in mind. Just, not to be doing that can cause those problems. Also, people would use this for like that nervousness and muscle tension. Again, because it smooths the smooth muscles, it helps that from contracting and things, like that. Now, as far as like, I talked about, doing a tea, you can add a little bit of honey to that because it can be, bitter. And I would just take, if you have it dried, I would just take like a teaspoon of the dried flower tops and leaves and do that to a cup of hot water. You can, now like even my, I remember my grandmother, she would just, because it comes, now a lot of people, you have to be careful not to mistake Feverfew with chamomile. They are different, but they look alike, but they have differences. Now the Feverfew does have the little yellow disc in the middle, and they have shorter little white petals on them, but and they grow in kind of like bushel looks. But some people would gather bushels of those and they put them in the house for, kind of the cleansing of the air. And cleansing, I mean like, purification of, the air. If there was like, if somebody was sick, or, I've talked about different things, put in different plants, they kind of absorb that. Now, with that said, if you were allergic to like mums, marigold, ragweed, you may not be able to tolerate Feverfew. So that is why you have to do, test with that. Also, because the anti-inflammatory properties, if you make like a steeped tea, like a brew is what I call, if I'm going to use it external, I make a brew from it, and you can take like a cloth and soak that in there, wring it out, and put it on an affected area. Like if, a joint or, some type of inflammation, you can use that externally for that. Now for some, I talked about the, allergens. If you have problems with those other ones, you need to test that. You can do a skin patch test. You can, if you start messing around with plants like this, touching them and smelling them, and if you start feeling like that allergy feeling, just don't mess with it. This is one, you cannot use this. Do not, this isn't like, oh, don't use this if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, and I do not recommend using this on children under the age of 3. That is my recommendation for that. But I mean, it's a good one to know. It grows almost everywhere now. If you learn to identify, I talked all the time about finding, learn to identify, especially your region and area, different plants, herbs, anything that grows wild in your area. So you can identify that. But I think it's a good one to have on hand and to know about. And some people have, fantastic results from using it for headaches and migraines and things like that. So it's another one I hope helps you guys. Everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.